being locked in.
Power me up now. Feel it. Power me up now.
Gavin Sheets, his first home run of the season.
Power me up now. We here now.
Sheets goes deep to right, and it is long gone. A 3-run bomb. Sheets gets a hold of this one. What a night for Gavin Sheets.
Hey everybody, it's Chuck Arfine, and this is the debut of Friday Night White Sox All Access, where we're going to give you tremendous access before and during games every Friday night home game. And with Gavin Sheets. Hey Gavin, we spoke during spring training. You said this is the best you have felt at the plate in your professional career. What's been working for you?
Just confidence. Being confident, not worrying about my swing, trusting in it, and getting in there and being aggressive. It's been fun.
You're not in the lineup here tonight. What are you going to do during the game? Because there's a lefty starting the game here tonight. What are you going to be doing in the dugout to prepare, just in case you're called upon as a pinch hitter?
Yeah, I'm going to be in there early, in the cage, staying loose, seeing the machine, watching the bullpen, obviously, and being ready for whenever time comes.
Something tells me you're going to be called upon as a pinch hitter tonight. I've got a hunch, I've got a feeling. Are you feeling that as well?
Yeah, I'll be ready. I've gone over film of all the relievers already and just trying to get a game plan with whoever I get. And, it's kind of the fun thing about being a pinch hitter is you just get some of the best opportunities. Runners on scoring position and the ability to change the game.
Gavin, appreciate your time. Good luck tonight.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Okay, the debut of Friday Night White Sox All Access. Exciting. John, Steve, up to you.
All right, Chuck, appreciate that. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside the legend. He is Steve Stone. I'm John Triffin. It feels good to come back. We're coming off our first 7-game road trip of the season. We start this first game of a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. And Steve, the good news is it feels like the offense is starting to come together these last few games.
Offense had some problems. One of the things they're doing really well is playing Gavin Sheets. However, baseball found a way to stop him. Throw a left-hander against him. Last couple of games, 13 runs scored on 22 hits with 11 doubles. The on-base percentage up there at 3.5. The slugging percentage at 500. So the offense is starting to come alive. They got to do whatever they can to get Chris Flexen some runs, because 2 starts, he hasn't had a run scored for him. And the boys are starting to break out of it, as you can see with Chris. He's looking for some runs. Hopefully he gets them tonight, because his Cincinnati team is a pretty good young team.
Want to get to know the Cincinnati Reds steering the cruise ship. When we come back, we'll tell you what our pitchers have to look out for with Cincinnati coming to town this weekend.
Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Illinois Lottery. Illinois is full of winners. Play today. Stream White Sox baseball from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. And by Wintrust, home of White Sox checking. Visit wintrust.com/Sox to open today.
All right, as we get closer to first pitch, Steve, let's dig into this Cincinnati Reds team. They can score some runs. They can put them up quickly. Break down the guys who steer the cruise ship.
Cincinnati's 6-6. They thought Matt McClain would be their #1 guy, but he's out for most of this year. So Spencer Steer has stepped up. 15 runs driven in, tied for the major league lead. He's hitting in the 3 spot tonight. This is a guy that can get it done in a lot of different ways. And he's getting his opportunity, as is Ellie De La Cruz. This guy's 6'6". He grew 2 inches in the offseason. He can fly. He's got a cannon for an arm and tremendous power when he makes contact. And although he does strike out a bit, every now and then he gets a fastball to his liking and decides to hit it 450 feet. He can do a whole lot of that. He can steal when he gets on, and hopefully Chris Flexen will keep him off base tonight, because that saves you a lot of problems.
Andrew Vaughn has been putting some good swings at the plate as of late. He will be with Chuck Garfine on the mic when we come back from this quick break.
All right, back here for Friday Night White Sox All Access. Chuck Garfine here with Andrew Vaughn. All right, Andrew, 2-10 start. Not how you guys wanted to start the season. What's the mindset right now?
Yeah, we just got to go next game. Like I always say, 1 pitch at a time, 1 game at a time. Just go out there and do our thing.
How do you beat the Reds here tonight? What has to happen?
We're going to go pitch well, play defense well, and score more than them.
Simple math.
That's it. Just go play good ball.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. All right. John, Steve, up to you.
All right, thank you very much. Steve,
Are you ready for some baseball here Friday night here on the South Side?
Good to be back home. It always is after a road trip. It wasn't a particularly great road trip for the Sox, but they're looking for improvement against a pretty good Cincinnati team. They're at 500. You look at David Bell in his 6th year as manager. They certainly do like him in Cincinnati, and they have put together a very exciting team who's also trying to live through a lot of injuries.
Take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Cincinnati Reds. Jonathan India at second base, Will Benson, Christian Encarnacion Strand, Spencer Steer, who is having a heck of a start of a season. We talked about how he's tied for the major league lead in RBI right now. Fraley, Ellie De La Cruz. This guy, it's like he's a video game. It just doesn't even seem real when you see some of the highlights from him.
Well, he's big, he's very strong, and he is elite speed with a cannon for an arm. As you look at Chris Flexen, who goes to the mound for his 3rd start. His record's 0-2. It doesn't illustrate how well he looked last time out. In 10 2/3, the ERA is up close to 6. You look at the rest of the numbers, and last time out, he got his secondary pitches over. That's what he used, the 4-seam fastball. He used it a lot, got it over the plate. I talked with Ethan Katz, and he said getting the secondary pitches over the plate is really what made him the very effective starter he was last time out. So we'll look for that tonight.
First pitch Friday night from Chris Flexen. And low outside corner for strike 1.
Mike Malinsky behind the plate. That looked like a little off the corner, but Jonathan India hits fastballs really well. You got to be very careful if you throw the heater.
Goes the 4-seam fastball with 92 quickly out ahead. 0-2. Flexen hoping to get some run support, but it hasn't affected the way he's pitched on the mound. The 0-2 changeup misses up. Well, Jonathan India is a guy for Cincinnati who's been playing with kind of a chip on his shoulder. There was speculation that the Reds would actually move him. Actually decided to keep him. Here he is leadoff.
I think it was a question of what could they get for him, and found out that he was probably more valuable to their team than what they could get in return. And although the defense isn't great, he's starting at second base tonight.
He's a guy who gets on base. He can hit it hard. This 2-2 misses upstairs, and it's now full. So India has seen a bunch of pitches already. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded at second by Remillard. And makes the play.
Let's take a look at the defense, which includes Zach Remillard at second base. It's Andrew, Kevin, and Robbie in the outfield left to right, with Lenine, Paul, Zach, who you just saw make a fine play, and Andrew Vaughn in the infield. Martin Maldonado once again behind the plate, and Chris Flexen on the hill. This pretty good effort, ranging to his right, gets it there in plenty of time, and quickly 1 up, 1 down.
Remillard, a guy who was just brought up from AAA Charlotte, and he gets the start tonight for the White Sox. Will Benson swings through that fastball. Flexen has been spotting that fastball well early on.
So far he's been keeping it away from everybody, and he's been keeping it down, which is a good thing. When he goes up with that fastball, he wants to go up by design.
So he's down with the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Will Benson.
He's thrown 2 straight changes. Neither have hit the strike zone. 1 up, 1 down. That's a pitch that will come to him as he moves along a little bit.
Will Benson at the plate. He's one of those former first-round picks in the Cleveland Guardians organization. Just never proved himself at the big league level, and now trying to establish himself with the Reds. Hit at every level in the minors. Fastball missing up. 2-2.
Benson's been a pretty decent player for Cincinnati, and this was a team that looked to be in perfect shape, and all of a sudden started to get injuries, and the Sox can relate to that.
2-2, just a little high. So the first 2 batters of the game, Flexen has gone full.
That one just missed upstairs. It looks like Mike Malinsky will not be calling that high strike.
Maldonado behind the plate for the 3-2. Fly ball left field. Benintendi giving chase, and it drops. But Benson stumbles, and the throw off the line. It was a weird play. He lost his footing as he was halfway to second, and now he gathers himself.
Well, the question is he okay after stumbling a couple of times?
I think he's more embarrassed than anything.
Yeah, he should have been out at second base. The throw gets away. Benintendi gets it. And look at Benson. And down goes Benson.
Oh, man.
Crawls to second base. And they can't get him.
It's one of those things you can smile about because he is safely at second. Had he been tagged out, would have a very different reaction. First baseman Christian Encarnacion Strand steps in. Batting almost .375 on the season. That off-speed pitch is fouled off. Okay, so take a look at some of the roster moves that were made today. So Zach Remillard was just brought up from the minors. Justin Anderson as well as a reliever. Oscar Colas was sent down, and Brian Shaw, the reliever, was designated for assignment. Now the deal with Remillard is that they felt like they needed another infielder with a right bat, because a lot of infield guys who are utility guys who bat from the left side of the plate.
And also he can play a few different positions like a lot of the utility infielders these days. Versatility is the key. If you're not going to start every day, you better bring a lot of gloves to the park.
High strike is called. So 1-2 on Encarnacion Strand.
Strand has some big power. That's the one thing he does have. As far as defensive skills, not too much, but he can hit it a long way when he catches up to one.
Got to find a way on the field somehow. And it's definitely with his bat.
I would say if you can hit, they will find a spot for you.
After calling time, 1-2 count. Here's Flexen's pitch. The cutter gets by Maldonado. So Benson advances to third.
When you call a cutter, you know it's going to move away, and this one hops in front of him and he can't smother it. So it goes as a wild pitch, and on the play Benson goes to third. The infield is not coming in, so on a ground ball in the infield or a fly ball, Cincinnati will break on top.
Two pitch from Flexen. Ooh, and that one caught a piece of Maldonado. So Mike Malinsky will go out and give his catcher some time.
We'll watch it again. Right off the mask.
All right, take a listen. You sure you want to be a catcher?
No, I didn't, because of things like that. They take a beating back there, certainly.
But there is a lot of respect between catchers and umpires. They take care of each other.
Well, they have to, because they both experience those foul balls off the mask and parts of your anatomy if you're unlucky.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball, right field. Grossman will make the catch. Tagging from third is Benson. The throw coming home is not in time, and Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead here in the first.
RBI number 6 for Strand. And the wild pitch allowed Cincinnati to break on top.
So here's one of the most dangerous hitters in Major League Baseball right now, Spencer Steer. Now, the good thing is there's nobody on base for him.
He's another one of those guys that the glove is a bit of a problem, but the bat has been really good.
Would you say he's Cincinnati's best player right now?
Right now he is, with Matt McLain on the shelf, and McLain's going to be out a while, but a lot of people thought the flashiest player was Ellie De La Cruz. The best player was McLain.
Steer gets a hold of this one out to left. Benintendi, it goes over his glove. Sliding head first into second. Spencer Steer with a 2-out double.
Steer came in hitting .372, and he's been on just about everything. He crushes this ball over the head of Benintendi, who can't get to it. It's a second double of the inning.
I mean, just the sound off his bat. You know he makes good contact. Checking on Steer at second. Does it sound different for certain hitters?
The guys who have exit velocities in excess of about 103, 104, it sounds different.
The curveball stays up. And Flexen already 22 pitches here in this first inning.
They're having some problems with the pitch he got over last time, which was the secondary pitches. He's throwing the fastball for strikes.
So Flexen trying to settle in here in this first inning. Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead. And when he needs to make a pitch, you can tell he's most comfortable with that fastball.
Yeah, so far that's the pitch he's getting over, but I think as the pitches and the innings move along, he'll be able to throw those secondary pitches for strikes. Right now he doesn't have great command of that straight change. You do have to, however, keep a close eye on Steer. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases, and this Cincinnati team can really run. Cincinnati has swiped 23 bags, been caught just 4 times.
You see DeYoung playing closely to the bag at second base. Here's the 2-2. That one was bounced.
It's another changeup that he just doesn't have the feel for, but Maldonado has to keep calling it because eventually it's going to come to him, and without that pitch, it's hard to keep hitters off your fastball, especially when the fastball is 91, on occasion 92. You see the Nationals leading and the Reds second in stolen bags.
Third 3-2 count to the first 5 hitters he's faced for Flexen. And he struck him out with the cutter. Cincinnati picks up 1 as Flexen gets the strikeout. White Sox bats coming up when we come back. Grossman, ever since he's led off, this has looked like a completely different lineup for the White Sox. Lenine Sosa, he was called up from AAA this past road trip. He replaces Yoan Moncada. Andrew Vaughn, Pilar, Benintendi, DeYoung, Corey Lee, who's usually the backup catcher, will DH.
Andrew Abbott goes to the mound, and one of the things he does do is throw the ball high and away to right-hand hitters. It's a lively fastball. It's not an overpowering fastball. His four-seamer is what he uses a lot, almost 50% of the time, backed up by the curve, the sweeper, and the occasional straight change. But you have to lay off that fastball because it looks like a strike. It's usually the top of the zone, maybe higher, and right-hand hitters fly out to right and right center field a lot.
Grossman, there's a fly out to center, and Benson will make the catch.
Let's take a look at the defense and how David Bell puts them out there this evening with Steer, Benson, and Fraley in the outfield left to right. Espinal, De La Cruz, India, and Encarnacion Strand at first base. Tyler Stevenson's got the plate, and the boys can run on him if they get on. We told you about Andrew Abbott.
There'll be plenty of righties in the lineup tonight against the lefty Abbott. Here's Lenine Sosa. Sosa, who will be getting the majority of the time at third base without Yoan Moncada. This is a real opportunity for this youngster.
Very much so, and he's had a couple here, but this might be the first extended that he has. And that high and away fastball that's outside is the one the boys have to lay off of. If they don't, it's going to be a fly ball extravaganza, and they're not going to get too much from Abbott tonight if they don't lay off that one.
Abbott went even further upstairs. That's first ball, 1-2. Sweeper stays outside. Lenyn Sosa is a guy who makes great contact. He's been hitting the ball hard, but he's also one of those guys who needs an opportunity, and now he's getting that consistent playing time.
Well, normally he's going to hit the ball to right center field. That's where a lot of his power is, and usually he's looking out at a pitcher that likes to stay away, so it should fit right into what Lenyn does well.
After the time, Lenyn is back in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And swings through that sweeper. Strike 3. It is time now for our live lines powered by Fanatic Sportsbook. We check out the odds for Andrew Vaughn tonight. If you think he's going to hit over 1.5 hits, so basically if he gets 2 hits tonight, plus 185. To hit a home run, plus 400. It does seem like, especially this last game on Wednesday in Cleveland, he's been making better contact, better at bats at the plate.
I mean, he normally hits the ball pretty hard, so this is an unusual start for him.
Ground ball to Indy at second base, and the White Sox are retired in order here in the first. After 1, it's the Reds with a 1-0 lead.
It's debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more.
Welcome back to the South Side alongside legend Steve Stone, Chuck Garfien on the field. I'm John Schriffen. Top 2. Ellie De La Cruz swinging at the first pitch. In on the hands. Coming in is Grossman, but it'll bounce in front.
Well, now Martin had best get his arm loosened up, because 6 of 7 times De La Cruz has been successful stealing a bag. So he gets what looked like a high fastball. Muscles it into right field, just over the head of Remillard and in front of Grossman.
Well, dating back to last season, Ellie De La Cruz now is up to 18 in terms of active on base streak. Tyler Stevenson gives this one a ride to deep center, and Pilar will make the catch at the warning track. Tagging from first, going to second is De La Cruz.
Good job at tagging up, because either that goes out of the park, or if Pilar does catch it, he's way too deep to throw out De La Cruz at second base.
The DH, Nick Martini, is up with 1 out here in this top of the second. And that curveball drops in for a strike. Martini's a guy who's had a long, winding path to get to the major leagues. He spent a lot of time in the minors. He spent time playing baseball overseas.
And he's resurrected his career, and here he is. And Chris still with trouble on that straight change. Still doesn't have the command of it. He is getting the curveball over the plate a little bit better.
Now, you said something earlier how Maldonado has to keep calling that changeup.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of his big weapons.
Popped him up left side foul territory. Sosa will make the catch for the second out. Your Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, one of the top mortgage lenders in the country. Steve, are you thinking about buying a home?
Always.
Wondering how you can pay less each month?
I would love that.
Oh, are we all? Trying to find the right insurance coverage?
I'm searching.
Okay. All that and more answered on rate.com. So how do you get the feel for the changeup as the game goes on if you know that Maldonado has to keep calling it?
You keep throwing it. I mean, eventually he'll get to the point where he feels comfortable pulling down on it and getting that downward motion that you really need for a change. He's throwing the fastball for a strike, especially away to the right-hand hitters.
Bottom of the lineup for Cincinnati. Santiago Espinal is at the plate. Espinal, one of those utility infielders who was brought in late in spring training as insurance, and kind of like the White Sox and all the injuries to Cincinnati, they've needed him to play in the field.
Yeah, when the middle infield went down, he could play a number of different positions, and so they're utilizing that versatility.
0-2 pitch from Flexen. And that is pulled foul. We saw a lot of full counts in that first inning from Flexen. Now he's starting to get ahead of the hitters here in the second inning.
Eventually, De La Cruz will get to second base. There he is.
Flexen's 0-2.
What De La Cruz is looking at now might not be stealing this time. You never really know, especially with 2 outs. He's looking to see if Flexen looks back a second time to second base to see if that will be the timing mechanism.
He read that all the way.
He was heading back before Chris actually made his turn.
Flexen takes a look. Now comes to the plate. Something we saw against Cleveland is that some of the pitchers had a habit of just locking into the batters and not looking at the runners who are on base.
Yeah, and you have to do 2 things. If the man's at second base, you got to look back a couple of times. You also have to vary your timing with a guy at first.
That one will get into the seats, out of play. It was De La Cruz with a leadoff single. But there's now 2 outs in this top of the second inning. Two from Flexen. There goes De La Cruz. Well, this one is right at Grossman in right. Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead. We move to the bottom of the second.
Katz, your thoughts so far on Chris Flexen?
Really good. He's getting ahead of guys. We got to get the changeup going a little bit more. Change's been a little bit uncompetitive, but once we get that going, we'll be in a better spot.
Why does that make him such a more effective pitcher with that changeup going?
That's just bread and butter. Like he can't live off his fastball. He's got to get his secondary stuff going. He's dropping the curveball well, but the changeup's the pitch we want going.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Ethan. All right, up to you guys.
All right, Chuck, appreciate that. 4-5-6 coming up. Kevin Pillar.
You got to love Chuck in his lair. Many times he's in the studio, but this Friday Night Access brings Chuck out from the studio to his lair again, where he's oh so comfortable. There he is. There's the lair.
In the elements, too. We saw it spring training. It was coming down.
Yeah.
Chuck didn't mind. He was still braving it out in the lair.
Nope. Looking for some rain. No rain.
Oh, 2 count on Pillar. Lifts this one out to left. Steer coming in and will make the catch. 1 down. So Andrew Benintendi, left fielder, will step in with 1 out. And Steve, since moving him from that leadoff spot, he's actually hit safely in 3 of his last 4 games. Does it feel like the move is helping him at the plate?
Well, I think he feels that it is, because he's not looking for on base percentage. He's looking more to drive the ball, and he's the only left-hander in the lineup. What happens a lot of times with the only left-hander in the lineup, you get a release point for a right-hand hitter, and when a lefty comes up, you lose the release point. You either fall behind or wind up walking.
The hottest bat in the lineup has been Gavin Sheets, and as the lefty, Pedro Grifol was asked earlier today about potentially having him in the lineup through the lefty. He said he thought about it, but he said he wants Gavin, who is hitting so well, to stay with his process. And obviously, if a righty comes in as a reliever, Gavin would most likely be the first pinch hitter off the bench.
Yeah, they got a few of the left-handers if they go to the right-handed pensman.
2-1 the count on Benintendi. Lays off that sweeper inside. 3-1.
Well, now if you're up there, lefty-lefty, you're just looking for a fastball, plain and simple. If you don't get it, take the pitch.
Got his pitch. Lifted high in the air to right. And Fraley will make the catch for the 2nd out. Time now for our Autos Today Fan Cam. come to the ballpark Friday night, got to get yourself a drink.
And you got to be really happy right now because it was raining very hard before the game. We knew that eventually it would go away. It has. It's not coming back to interfere with the play of this game tonight.
You know what I also like to see around the ballpark? We don't have the blankets out there today. DeYoung. Deep shot to right at the wall. Oh, what a catch by Fraley. My goodness. Got to check and see if he's okay. He crashed into that wall in right field, held onto the ball for the third out.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be all that okay. Might have got his foot caught the bottom of the wall as he goes back, measures it. Timing is perfect, and bang. So we'll check and see if he comes back.
Our home cooking feature, and the feature this week is the crispy chicken sandwich. Now, there's a little spice to this. There is a spicy Creole style sauce on top. You got lettuce, tomato, with the crispy chicken sandwich on a sesame seed bun. I'm not a spicy guy. A lot of people know I don't like spicy food, but I tasted this. It is not as spicy as you may think. It gives a little extra kick, a little extra flavor. I like this.
Well, it's not as spicy as you think. It would be as spicy as I think, which is fairly spicy. However, let me show you. You get tomato, you get the lettuce, you get the chicken, of course, and you get, well, whatever that is, you get it. That's the spicy stuff.
That's the spicy.
Yeah.
It's good. I like the flavor to it. And I'm sure you can figure out if you want more or less of the spicy sauce.
Oh, much more.
Yeah.
Then I can give it to you.
You know, remember when Popeyes had that craze when everyone was going for their chicken sandwich? I like this one better.
You do?
Yeah, no, this is good. This is one of those. I come to the ballpark, I'll give myself a crispy chicken sandwich. Second time through the lineup as Jonathan India leads it off, grounded out his first time up. You know what's also better about coming home? The food tastes a little bit better here at this ballpark, doesn't it? I mean, because you've seen me. I get my hot dogs in wherever we go.
You do.
We were in Kansas City.
Yeah.
We were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Nothing like Chicago.
Now, the hot dogs at this ballpark are particularly good. They're Vienna beef, all beef. There you go. They look a little like that.
With the fixins, that's the key. You go other places, they don't really give you the fixins with it. I want everything on it.
Not like Chicago style.
No. 1-2 pitch to India. Throws him with the fastball. Second strikeout for Flexen.
Take a look again as he throws a fastball and has most of the plate. That's his four-seamer. And you heard Ethan Katz between innings. He needs the straight change to come around because it sets up all his other pitches.
Will Benson, a deep shot to right center field, and it is tracked down by Pilar. Kevin Pilar is so versatile playing the outfield. We've seen him in right, now in center, and runs down that ball.
Most of his career, he's been an elite defensive center fielder. This one is hit way up there. Plenty of time for Kevin to come back, make the play. Make sure that Robbie Grossman knows that he's got it all the way. Good communication, and it's quickly 2 up and 2 down.
Encarnacion Strand drove in the only run of the game. Now is back in the first with a sac fly RBI. There was a stretch on this road trip where the White Sox had 6 errors in 2 games. Other than that stretch, defensively, this team has been very good.
Well, there's no doubt that there are some talented defensive players on the field.
Maldonado takes another one off the mask.
When I talked to Braden Shoemake before the game, and I said to him, "You're playing all these positions. Which do you like to play?" He said, "I view myself, because I've been there more, as a shortstop. He also said, but I have to start catching the ball, regardless of where they play me.
That one gets by Sosa at third. And Encarnacion Strand with his first hit of the ball game.
He hits this one awfully hard. Gets by Sosa into left field, and the inning stays alive for a guy who's been their hottest hitter.
Steer with a double his first time up. What's the approach for Flexen on the mound?
Well, the approach was try to get ahead with your secondary stuff, and he missed with the curveball. So Steer hit the daylights out of one last time up. That coming in the first inning. It was a ringing double over the head of Benintendi, and he hit it on a fastball.
Starts him out with a curveball, then misses up with the fastball, and it's 2-0.
Extra base hit leaders. No surprise at the top, Ohtani and Olsen, and Spencer Steer and Will Benson of these same Reds.
You can see Flexen's being very careful with Steer at the plate. It's 3-0.
You would think with David Bell, former major league infielder, that he would be giving 3-0 green lights, especially to a guy as hot as Steer.
Pitcher's pitch found the corner. 3-1. So a 5-pitch walk to Spencer Steer, and there's 2 on with 2 outs here in this top of the third.
It's a whole lot of pitches so far. 55, not through the third inning. Jake Fraley, it's nice to see him getting his at bat, that he's okay after banging into the wall to end that last inning.
All right, let's take a look at that catch, because it was pretty special out in right field.
Timing was good as Paul DeYoung hits the daylights out of it, but Fraley is right there.
I mean, that looked like something that we just saw in WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was
going off of a cage, coming down, just throwing your body all over the place.
And a very appreciative pitcher, as you would expect.
Now, it took him some time to get off the field into the dugout, but stays in the game. With 2 outs here in this top of the third. Fraley off the glove of Vaughn. Good job at second. And here comes the run scoring from second. Encarnacion Strand never stopped running. And Cincinnati with a 2-0 lead.
That was an unbelievable carom and a good effort to get it as close as it was, but Chris Flexen never looked at the plate. We'll watch it again. Remillard does a great job. Chris drops the ball, and then no chance anywhere.
For Remillard to even knock this thing down and have a chance at a throw was something.
No, a big effort, and unfortunately Flexen doesn't catch it. And they're sending it. Don't even hesitate.
Never stopped. So there's still 2 on, and dangerous hitter Ellie De La Cruz at the plate. Just goes foul.
For Fraley, his second run driven in. This all happened with 2 outs and nobody on. Base hit, walk, base hit.
Beautiful Friday night at the ballpark with the sun starting to go down. 0-2 from Flexen. You know, back in the day when I was a big video game player, Ellie De La Cruz is one of those guys that you create. Just 6'6", you just keep the height going as tall as you can. Just outstanding speed, outstanding power.
Yeah,
he just looks like a cheat code. He doesn't seem real.
The tools are off the charts.
I mean, this is a shot to right, and it is long gone. A 3-run home run. Ellie De La Cruz, his 4th of the season.
He's now driven in 10. He's 2 for 2, and the Reds have a very big lead. Ford home run replay. That's a changeup, and he read it all the way. So maybe slowing down the motion, whatever the case. The changeup has not been good for Flexen. De La Cruz makes him pay the price. And it's 5 on the board for the Reds.
He posed at that thing for a long time.
When you hit him that far, you can take a look.
That was more than a little look, though.
Yep. Puts on the Viking cap.
So a 5-0 lead for Cincinnati here in this 3rd inning. You think he knew this was gone?
Yeah, you want to take a look at that. Not a whole lot of guys can hit him that hard, that far, or even that often.
Just a little stroll down first base with the bat still in his hand. He's just admiring that shot. .449 feet. Wow.
Well, I said in the opening that he will strike out a lot, and occasionally he'll hit one .450. So he missed by a foot. That was a blast.
Flexen trying to get Stevenson here with 2 outs. 0-2. Little outside, 1-2. Well, here we are in the 3rd, and Flexen getting ready to throw his 65th pitch of the ball game.
Jared Schuster getting ready for a lineup that is very heavily left-handed.
Schuster's another guy who's been called up recently from AAA Charlotte. So Chris Getz, GM for the White Sox, has been very busy. We've had a lot of tough luck with a lot of injuries, not just to the top 3 superstars, also Brebbia, one of their key relievers, is still on injured list for Chicago White Sox.
And that's a big loss for the bullpen.
Deep fly ball to right field. Grossman at the wall. And back-to-back home runs for the Reds. This time it's a solo shot for Tyler Stevenson. And it's 6-0 in the 3rd.
That's his first home run of the year, and Stevenson has big power. That's one of the reasons why at one point he was one of the highest rated of all the prospects. Our Ford home run replay. It's a fastball. It's down the middle, and it's out. And I believe that's going to be the last pitch that Flexen is going to throw tonight. Grossman to the wall. Can't do anything about it.
So new pitcher coming in. We will step aside and come back after this.
Side bank, it's about time. And Jared Schuster, who threw 3 very strong innings in Cleveland, on to make his 2nd appearance as a White Sox pitcher. There you look at the numbers. They were very impressive. And he starts with the bottom part of the order. 8 and 9 if he doesn't get Martini.
The thing that makes Jared Schuster so attractive for this White Sox squad is because he was a starter at AAA Charlotte. So he's a guy who can eat up a lot of innings coming out of the bullpen.
And it would be a good thing to do that this evening because you got a 3-game series. Day game tomorrow. You don't want to decimate your bullpen in the first game. And this Cincinnati team is pretty good offensively.
Schuster's 0-2. Cincinnati with back-to-back home runs here in the third. There's 2 outs. And that one gets into the seats.
5 in a row have reached base with 2 outs and nobody on. Encarnacion Strand with a base hit, walk to Steer, single and back-to-back home runs, and turns into a big inning.
The last few games, it was the reverse. It was the White Sox jumping on Cleveland up 5-0. And now the White Sox are going to have to come from behind here on Friday night. Good pitch by Schuster, gets the strikeout. But Cincinnati, with 5 here in the third, they lead it 6-0. Fans 21 and older will receive a retro White Sox crew neck presented by Miller Lite. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos. Andrew Abbott has faced the minimum so far, the starting pitcher for Cincinnati. And we talked about how Pedro wanted to put all the righties in the lineup, so Corey Lee, normally the backup catcher, will be DHing tonight. How about those spikes by Corey Lee? Does he have the pinstripes going all the way down to the spikes from the pants? Ooh, that is sharp.
It appears that he does.
Well done, Corey Lee.
His at-bats this year are just so much better. You can tell he has a lot more confidence. He's changed things around. He started off red hot offensively, and getting a chance to DH was something that last year you never thought would happen.
Steve, this is a guy who was not supposed to make the opening day squad.
And wouldn't have Max Stassi stayed healthy, but given the opportunity, and Corey has been given that opportunity, he certainly has made the most of it.
Spoils another pitch, making a fan happy. Now Max Stassi actually had a setback in his rehab in AAA, so it looks like Corey Lee is going to have this backup catcher position for a little while longer now, and he's really showing people what he can do. 2-2, lays off that sweeper. It's now full. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Lee hustling down the line, and a diving play by Encarnacion Strand. All right, so let's give you an injury update on one of our big stars who went down. Here's Eloy Jimenez. He's trying to run harder now. They said the goal is to push him, because the key for Eloy is we've seen him at the plate. He can hit well, he can throw, but they want to feel comfortable with him running the bases. But they said once he can get up to about 90–95% of his top speed, that's when they'll feel comfortable putting him back in the lineup. So maybe this weekend, and maybe push back after this weekend. It's all we'll see how he responds to this increased workload.
Yeah, it's not going to be too much longer, and he's going to be ready to go in the middle of this lineup. And the Sox could certainly use his bat.
So first at bat of the season for the White Sox for Zach Remillard was just called up. You see what he did last season in 54 games.
And with the lefty bats of Nicky Lopez and Braden Shoemake, now Remillard gives them an option with a righty bat as a utility infielder. Ground ball left side, backhanded, and no play. An infield hit for Zach Remillard.
Good effort to get to it. But De La Cruz, and you really want to see him show off that arm, but he didn't get a chance this time as he couldn't get the handle. In the hole, he gets to it and then goes to throw, but cannot secure the baseball.
If he had made that play, I would have really said he's a legit cheat code. Like, he's just not real.
Well, he's not going to make that play with Remillard running. Even if he gets the throw off, he's not going to make that one. However, getting to it was pretty good, and you can tell the skills he has because there's not really one thing he can't do.
You know, it's interesting talking to some of the Cincinnati personnel. There's the belief that at some point he could be moved to center field down the line in his career with all the young infielders they have in the minor league system with Cincinnati.
Well, certainly the bat plays, as does the rest of his skills. They fit into this game nicely. And as far as moving him off short, better be a pretty good player that does that.
Now that's down the line we're talking about. But he has that kind of versatility and athleticism. 1-2 to Maldonado. Center field. And there's now 2 down in this bottom of the 3rd.
Become a real Chicago sports fan with the NBC Sports Chicago app. You can catch up on highlights, learn the latest insights, and get breaking news on your favorite team. Scan the QR code on your screen to download now. You know, there was a pretty good guy that became a fairly decent center fielder that started off as a shortstop. You being from New York, I don't know, have you heard of Mickey Mantle?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that made the transition from short. It worked out real well for him. That Hall of Fame and the 500 and some odd home runs and all those things that he could do from both sides of the plate. Not to mention occasionally getting down to first base from the left side around 3 flat. That is pretty impressive.
I wonder what the clock was on De La Cruz last week when he hit that inside the park home run, getting around the bases. He was flying.
Well, when you have that kind of a stride and you're 6'6", that's pretty impressive. His whole game is very impressive, and when you realize how young he is and know that he's going to get better as he sees more pitches, as he gets to learn the pitchers, Cincinnati has themselves a pretty good one. In fact, they've got really good young players on this team.
That's what's great about Major League Baseball right now. There's a good crop of the next generation of stars making a name for themselves. Here's Robbie Grossman, hammers that down the left field line. They're waving in Remillard. He's going to score easily, and the White Sox on the board here in the 3rd. An RBI double for Robbie Grossman, and Cincinnati's lead is cut to 5.
That's his first run driven in as a member of the White Sox. And a great time to drive it in. Gets a high fastball, which is what Abbott throws a lot of, and drives it into the corner.
So the first 2 hits of the game for the White Sox came in this inning. And Grossman, with 2 outs, delivers.
Well, we know that it can be done. The reason is we saw it from the other side in Cleveland. 2 different times the Sox got out to a 5-0 lead. Both times the Guardians came back, and one time able to tie it, the other time won the ball game.
That's what Kevin Pillar talked to me about this past week. He said that's what we took away from that experience in Cleveland. He said, I've been around the game. I've seen pretty much every situation, but there's a lot of young guys who need to learn that just because we're down, you can chip away. You don't have to get it all back right away in this game.
Well, very good teams just know that doesn't matter how far down you get, as long as you have the at-bats to be able to come up and do something about it.
Juan Sosa struck out his first time up. And the count is now 2-2. Andrew Vaughn is on deck with 2 outs here in the third. So the second time through the order, White Sox are making Andrew Abbott work on the mound. Here's the 2-2. Sosa, good safety swing. Oh, that caught a fan with a beard. Yeah, my guy. It knocked most of the beer out of his hand, so he said, you know what, with whatever I got left, I'm just going to chug the rest. Give that man a round of applause. It is better at the ballpark. I'm telling you, it's going to be home.
Well, look, he still has a couple of hot dogs in his hand, it looks like.
And they gave him the, see?
There you go.
That's how you treat each other on the South Side. You lose your beer, you still get the foul ball.
And keep your hot dogs.
And Sosa swings through that pitch for the strikeout. White Sox pick up a run. It's 6-1 after 3. In a row, and Vinny Pasquantino, who had not really heat up yet, all of a sudden he is on fire.
Well, he is one of their better hitters normally. Came back from an injury and got off to a very slow start. Now, not so slow. He's starting to hit everything, and Bobby Witt, 2 home runs and 5 driven in last night. And the Royals, looks like at this point they're behind enough where maybe the Mets thinking about ending that 7-game streak.
(9-1-2) coming to the plate for the Reds here in this top of the 4th. So Jared Schuster got the strikeout to end the 3rd. And he comes out here to start this 4th. So a timeout called by Espinal.
Yeah, Mike Malinsky shot out from behind Maldonado and said, nope, timeout, timeout.
I thought something else had happened. It was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it was.
1-2. Mike Malinsky just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. I like the effort.
We've seen a lot of late timeouts, however.
Ground ball, and that one will get through the hole on the left side. So Espinal with a single to start this 4th inning. Time now for a message from Powering Chicago.
At Powering Chicago, we build more than electrical infrastructure. We build the future. Our trained, qualified, diverse workforce knows electricity. Partner with Powering Chicago and build better construction, better careers, and better communities for generations to come.
Top of the lineup, Jonathan India is 0 for 2 tonight. I'm still thinking about that fan who lost his Miller Lite. I feel like we should have some kind of promotion where if a foul ball knocks it out of your hand and you're walking down the aisle, we should be able to give him a refill.
Well, we will if he pays for it.
Spoken like a true restaurateur.
That's exactly right. The only thing on the house is the roof.
There's many perks of being your partner. One of the great perks is being able to eat my way through Chicago with Steve Stone.
Well, there's some really good restaurants here. No doubt about that.
Yeah, but if I have to go with you, though, to get the proper treatment.
Well, that's true. But give yourself another week and a half. You'll be fine.
I think I'm still sticking with you. 3 balls and a strike to count on India. Runner goes from first. And a strike called. Throw down is not in time. So a stolen base for Santiago Espinal.
That was a called strike. And the throw was on target at second, just wasn't there quickly enough. Good jump. Throw in the dirt. Very close at second, just not close enough. Nice pick by Remillard.
Three-two pitch from Schuster. We do it again.
It's going to be a challenge for the pitching staff against the Reds because this is a team that will run on any count at any time. They've swiped 25 bags already. They've been caught just 4 times.
So Schuster gives a look to Espinal. Now comes to the plate and misses ball 4. There's nobody out here in this top of the 4th. 2 on. And Benson takes that slider for strike 1. Benson is a really good athlete. He is fast. He is springy. Couldn't catch up with that one. The slider upstairs. It's 0-2. With that double in the first inning for Will Benson, his 99th hit. A foul tip, so it stays 0-2. Looking for career hit number 100, but it's Schuster who wins that battle, gets the strikeout.
Ahead of Benson, he went upstairs with a couple of fastballs, the second of which ended the at-bat. It's a strike. It's a 4-seamer. And it eats him up inside. Couldn't get the hands out.
Check on the runner at second. That's something that was drilled into the pitchers starting back in spring training. Consistently looking at the runners, working on those pick plays to second.
He didn't look back a second time. And Espinal looked like he was ready to steal third base. That was very similar to what De La Cruz did before he actually took off.
Gets the pop up to the right side. Will Vaughn have enough room in foul territory? Yes, and he makes the catch. Sox fans, now through April 18th, lock in your summer outing with our sweet flash sale. Receive up to 40% off a 20-person suite on select games. You can enjoy game day tailored to you. Get customizable food and beverage options. Now, for more information and to purchase your suite, visit whitesox.com/flash sale. The White Sox have not figured out a way to get Spencer Steer out tonight. Doubled in the first, walked and scored in the third.
That's pretty impressive on that list. Dawson Kearns, Adam Dunn, Edwin Encarnacion. Craig Robinson was pretty good. So was Joey Votto.
Espinal's definitely been dancing at second, and he's got the attention of Schuster.
Looks like he's just about ready to take off. Not as damaging with 2 outs, however, as it is with 1.
Two-0 the count to Steer. A fly ball to left center. Calling off is Pilar. And Schuster gets out of it. It is 6-1, Cincinnati on top.
All week on NBC Chicago. Learn about the latest trends, product reviews, and money-saving hacks so you can shop, plan, and live smarter. Weekdays on NBC Chicago.
Friday night at the ballpark. It's the White Sox trailing 6-1 to Cincinnati. We move here to the bottom of the 4th. Vaughn, Pilar, and Benintendi due up here in this inning.
Abbott last year walked a whole lot of right-hand hitters, 8th highest in the major leagues. So eventually you'd think perhaps the control would fail him, but so far he has not walked anybody.
Abbott is now up over 50 pitches on the night. Vaughn tags this one to center, but Benson at the warning track will catch it against the wall. Vaughn gave it a ride.
That's a whole lot more like Andrew Vaughn can hit the ball, and I think lately he's starting to get that feeling because he's squaring up a lot of pitches. That one just barely stayed in the park, but it's 1 up and 1 out.
So Kevin Pilar, who's flashed a little leather in center field, 0 for 1 at the plate. Did not go around, and it's 2-0. You know, Kevin Pilar has got so much advice for all the young guys. I asked him, do you think that means you're going to be a coach one day? He said, maybe, but he said not at any time in the near future. He's got 2 young kids at home. Kobe, who's 6, his son Jet, who's actually going to be 4 on Sunday. And he said, you know, I'm missing their birthdays and things I can't be with my kids. Obviously, I want to play for as long as I can. But he said, when my career is over, I'd like to be at home with my family, spend some more time with my kids.
Well, he lives in Arizona. It's a very pleasant place to live, as we find out in spring training every year.
We also realize the commitment it takes to be a coach, especially Major League Baseball. I mean, it is not just a season, it's a year-long commitment that you have to make and really dedicate your life to it.
It's also just about all day, every day. I mean, these guys, they work a lot.
Pilar sends this one deep to right center field, and it's going to one-hop the wall. So Kevin Pilar with a 1-out double here in the bottom of the 4th.
Kevin's been swinging it real well. Fly out the first time up, but crank that to right center field. That's where you have to look with Abbott. He tries a backdoor breaking ball, a cutter over the outside corner, can't get it there, and Benson can't get to it. So a chance to drive home another run. Andrew Benintendi trying to do that.
So Pilar with good speed is on at second. Andrew Benintendi at the dish with one out. Stevenson with a good stop behind the plate, 1-0. You know, Pedro was asked today by the media about the struggles offensively from this team. And he said, what I evaluate is the effort and preparation from my guys. And he said, I see every single day that they're giving their best. And he said he just has that belief that once the season goes on, when you get to 162, the numbers for guys like Andrew Benintendi, they're going to be there. One-two pitch. I mean, something I tweeted, I said that I love this team. And for the most part, White Sox fans have supported. There's a few on social media who kind of clapped back at me, and
yeah,
I get it.
Just a few.
But I was being real. I think what I love about this team is that through all the adversity, through all the injuries, they continue to fight.
Look, this is an unrelenting game. It's an everyday game. Even on off days, you're trying to do something to get yourself a little bit better. It's a game for grinders, because if you're not grinding every day, you're not going to get out of yourself what you have to get out.
3-2 to Benintendi. Well hit. One hops the second baseman, India, as Pilar advances to third with now 2 outs.
That ball was hit very hard, as Andrew Benintendi has hit the ball a couple times pretty well against the lefty. Nothing to show for it so far.
So Benintendi, his last time up, he hit that long fly ball to right field as Fraley went crashing into the fence. It's interesting, 4 of DeYoung's 5 hits have actually been for extra bases.
Well, that time he was looking fastball away. He got it, but made no contact.
Inside, 1-1.
For Abbott, that's his real difficult location. A fastball inside to a right-hand hitter.
I mean, when it comes to adversity, nobody has faced more adversity early on in this season than the White Sox.
Well, they lost 3 of their key guys as everyday players and 1 pitcher to this point.
This White Sox team has also lost 6 games by 1 or 2 runs this season, so they still have been in so many of these close battles. Still trying to figure out their rhythm and this groove to this early season. 3-1.
Abbott has not walked anybody to this point. This would be a pretty nice time to start the walk parade.
Payoff pitch to DeYoung. Out of play.
That one just off the corner, but certainly too close to take. Ball does not want to leave it in the hands of Mike Malinsky.
Abbott's only given up 3 hits so far. 3-2. DeYoung just got underneath it. Sky high to left field, and Steer will make the catch. Time now for some American Sale fun at home.
Your business with a free facility assessment from ComEd. Learn more at ComEd.com/pilot. Empowering Biz.
Five, 6, 7 coming to the plate for Cincinnati. Lefty-lefty matchup, and the strike is in there for Schuster. It's 0-2 on Jake Fraley. Schuster got the final out of the 3rd inning, and he works now here into the 5th. Came in relief for Chris Flexen, who went 2 2/3 in the start for the White Sox.
Tough outing tonight for Chris. He couldn't get the straight changeover, and that really helped tell the tale.
Lifted out into left, and Benintendi makes the catch for the first out here in the 5th. You know, the media keeps pressing Pedro about who's going to be the 5th starter on this team. Who are you going to name? And right now, they don't have to name a 5th starter, because with the way the rotation works out, is at least over these next few days, they can continue with their normal rotation. But as of right now, a 5th starter has not been named for the squad.
Well, they're probably going to have to use one here, because the Sox are playing 6 games in a row. The off day comes after the series against Kansas City and before Philadelphia. So I believe they're going to need one of those, unless Pedro decides to go to a bullpen game.
It's looking like Tuesday is that day that potentially need a 5th starter. De La Cruz on a line out to right, and Grossman with a catch, 2 down.
Schuster once again has come in, supplied a little order to this game, and kept the score right where he inherited it. 6 runs for Cincinnati.
Tyler Stevenson with a home run his last time up, when Cincinnati went back-to-back home runs in the 3rd. That slider's been really effective for Schuster, especially as that first pitch strike.
He just moves the ball around pretty well. At first, the stuff doesn't jump out at you, but the way he uses it makes him pretty effective. Fastball is not overwhelming, but it does have some good movement.
Another fly ball. Grossman in right, tracks it down. A 1-2-3 5th inning. Well done on the mound by Jared Schuster. It's a 5-run lead for Cincinnati. We move to the bottom of the 5th.
Quintana, one of our stalwarts, decides he's going to give him a beer to replace the one he lost. But also, he's going to give him a White Sox cap, because if you're going to drink the beer here in this park, you wear a Sox cap.
You see the kind of hospitality we have here on the South Side.
Got the beer and the Sox cap all in one fell swoop. Now he's showing that he actually is 21, despite the fact that he looks 41.
He might be trying to pay for it. No.
No, you send that up here. Yeah. And nice job, Chris Quintana, going down there making a new Sox fan.
Chris Quintana is our boss. Does a little everything around the ballpark. See, that's what happens. You get your beer spilled by a foul ball. We make it up to you. And now he's going to text all his friends. Yeah, we see you on TV.
Yeah, but taking that hat off means that's the last beer he's going to get.
Yeah, you got to have the Sox hat on. If we give you a free beer and a hat, at least rock the hat for the rest of the game.
See if Corey gets something to put a good piece of the bat on. We got his pitch. He got a 4-seamer right down the middle and fouled it straight back. Hitters keep hoping they're going to get the same pitch once again. They usually don't. But when they miss one that's in their zone, it's a little frustrating. Especially when you're swinging it as well as Corey has swung it early in this season.
3-2 pitch to lead. Right back up the box, and it's a base hit to start this bottom of the 5th.
Corey continues to swing it well and took this right back up the middle. It whizzed right by Abbott, who had no chance to get the glove down and make that catch. So a good way to start the 5th inning.
Here's the 8-hole hitter, Zach Remillard. Got his first White Sox hit of the season and his first at bat.
Something different for Abbott over the last couple of innings. He's starting to fall behind Sox hitters. That's something he didn't do the first 2 innings.
Now Corey Lee, who's on at first, even though he's a catcher, he is a threat. He has speed. He's been working on his agility in the offseason. Remillard pulls that foul, 1-2.
Xfinity keeps White Sox fans in the zone with a connection you can rely on. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity because it's only live once.
Nobody out here in this bottom of the 5th. 1-2 to Remillard. Swings through the fastball, strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Andrew Abbott. How would you assess his performance on the mound, the starter for Cincinnati?
I think it's been very good. With a less than overwhelming fastball that tops out about 93, he's gotten the most out of it because it's deceptive. He keeps on running it away from the right-handers and getting the job done with the occasional curve, which he seems to be able to throw over when he needs to.
For Abbott, this is his 3rd start of the season for the Reds. Maldonado ground ball to left side. Espinal gets the lead runner at second over to first. A double play ends this 5th inning. Cincinnati with a 6-1 lead after 5. When you spill your beer from a foul ball, Chris Quintana to the rescue. Welcome to Friday Night Baseball here on the South Side. 6-1, Cincinnati with a lead here as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Alongside the legend, Steve Stone. Chuck Garfon is in his lair. I'm John Schriffen. Turned on, and it's a fair ball down that right field line. Martini is digging for 3. And a stand-up triple to start this 6th inning.
He gets a hold of this. It looked like a slider that didn't do a whole lot and stayed on the inside part of the plate. Takes it just inside the line and then keeps on running. He's thinking 3 bases right here. He rounds it. He sees it in front of him. You don't need a coach when the play is in front of you. So instead of looking at J.R. House, he just kept on going, winds up at 3rd, and brings the infield in at all 4 positions.
40th pitch coming up for Jared Schuster, who came in for the starter Chris Flexen. Bottom of the lineup for Cincinnati. Nobody out. Good pitch, the changeup, 1-2.
Had him well out in front of that. Not only his foot, but his hands. And when your hands move, you're done.
What does Schuster come back with?
I like a face-high fastball. We'll see what he likes.
Went up there with a face-high fastball.
There it was, but unfortunately, Espinal fouled it back.
After retiring the side in the 5th, Schuster has a bit of a jam here in the 6th.
Be a good time for a straight change. I think he'll probably get Espinal looking at something hard because he saw a fastball, saw a hard slider in. The last changeup he saw, he was way out in front.
See if Schuster pulls the string. 2-2. It was off speed with a changeup. Gets the fly ball to right. Is it deep enough? Grossman throwing home, tagging from third, and scoring is Nick Martini. It is 7-1 Cincinnati here in the 6th.
Third run batted into the year for Espinal. And he got the job done because you're looking for a fly ball with the infield in at all 4 positions, and he got that fly ball for the sacrifice fly.
So it's top of the lineup. And the high fastball misses 1-0.
There is only one guy in this lineup that does not have a hit yet, and you're looking at him. Jonathan India.
9 hits for this Cincinnati lineup already. And the fastball for Schuster starting to miss up. He's battling though. I mean, came in a really nice spot. Got the strikeout to end the 3rd inning.
Davy Garcia loosening in the pen.
And Schuster eating some innings for this bullpen. 3-2. Changeup misses, ball 4.
Follow our Sox insiders at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side. Yeah, we're home, feeling pretty good about it, except for the score of this one, of course.
The last 2 games in Cleveland, White Sox were scoring some runs. 13 runs scored over the last 2 games for the White Sox. But Andrew Abbott on the mound has shut down the bats tonight. One on, one out. Will Benson. Benson doubled in the 1st, moved to 3rd on the wild pitch, and scored on a sac fly, making it 1-0 in that 1st inning. One-two from Schuster. Did he go around? No, says Andy Fletcher at 3rd. 2-2.
This is what Fletcher saw. I think he checked it up.
Lefty on lefty matchup, and Schuster goes to 1st. Coming into the night, this was a Cincinnati team who was looking to avoid going below 500 for the first time since June of last season. And what they do, they jumped on Chris Flexen early. And the big inning was the 3rd inning, scoring 5 runs in that inning. And it's now 7-1 Cincinnati on top in the 6th. Benson, another souvenir for the fans down that left field line. Join us at the ballpark this Sunday for Family Sundays presented by Coke Zero Sugar. Tickets starting at only $10. And you can enjoy Kids Run the Bases postgame. You got character artists and more. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Sunday.
Last year, these Reds were 10 games back and finished over 500.
Broken bat, grounded to second, flip over to second, over to first, and a double play turn. Nicely done by Remillard and DeYoung up the middle. Cincinnati leads it 7-1. With AAA Charlotte, Brad Keller on the mound, 5 innings strong, gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Touki Toussaint in relief, 3 innings, no hits.
Got to keep your eye on Brad Keller because there's a chance he could come up here and be a starter. He's been a starter a good portion of his career with Kansas City, and now he's trying to come back.
It's interesting, every time Chris Getz is available for media availability, the question he always gets asked, how's Colson Montgomery doing? And he said, making some great defensive plays. The focus for the organization was for him to work on defense. They want to make sure defensively he's sound, and obviously getting him enough at bats because he's always shown that he's got pop in that bat. Top of the lineup for the White Sox here in this bottom of the 6th inning. Robbie Grossman drove in the only run of the game for the White Sox back in the 3rd.
Since moving to the leadoff spot, he's done a pretty nice job.
In his last 4 games, he has reached base safely 9 times. Nice play by Espinal at 3rd. And there's one down here in this bottom of the 6th. All right, so Andrew Abbott getting ready to throw 90 pitches. His 3rd time through the lineup. Clearly he's in control right now. How much longer do you think Cincinnati stays with him?
I'm not sure how many pitches he's thrown, but you don't want him to get too much over 100. So I'm thinking, depending on the resolution of this inning, this might be it.
Sosa hard hit. Right at Indy at second base, 2 down. Customize your game day experience with a 10-ticket flex pack. You pick the number of games and seats you want to use. Now, for more information, visit whitesox.com/ticket plans, or you can call or text 312-674-1000.
So far, no activity at all in the Reds bullpen. David Bell must be liking what he sees in Abbott.
Popped him up on the infield. And Vaughn is retired. A 1-2-3 6th inning. Longest outing of the season for Andrew Abbott. He's gone 6.
There, so check out Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. And a new pitcher in the ball game for the Sox. It's Davy Garcia. On for the 7th time. His ERA needs a bit lowering.
Third pitcher used by the White Sox tonight. It was Chris Flexen who got the start. Jared Schuster went 3 1/3. And here's Garcia. 96 on that fastball. It's 0-2. Encarnacion Strand at the plate as one of the 9 hits tonight for Cincinnati. 2-2 from Davy Garcia. High heat blew him away. 1 down.
Catch up on everything in Chicago sports with NBC Chicago Sports Sunday. How the Bulls are looking ahead of their play-in game. The latest from the Bears leading up to the draft and more. That's Sunday after the NBC Chicago News at 10.
You know, I got to give a shout out to our social media team. So they do a really good job with riddles. And the players love to play along when they're coming into the stadium. So there's a cool one they posted recently on social media. I'm going to see if you can answer this riddle, my friend Steve Stone. With Garcia on the mound, his 1-1 pitch. Okay, so they post it when the players walk in. And the latest one was, when is a door not a door? I'll let that marinate. You can get back to me on that one.
When it's a window.
Oh, 2-2 the count on Spencer Steer. When is a door not a door? It's on social media account.
It is, huh?
Foul tip staying alive is Steer.
That got a piece of Molinsky, and I mean that got him pretty flush. So Martin going back there to make sure he's okay. Yeah, this is right off the top of the mask, and that will shake you up. Ooh. Martin goes to hold him up to make sure he's okay, and then ask him if he's okay.
Now Andy Fletcher, third base umpire, is going to come check on Mike Molinsky.
Said, I'll be okay.
Tough guy. For the record, none of the players were able to solve the riddle.
Well then,
when is a door not a door?
So it wasn't a window, huh?
It was not a window.
A chair?
I'll give you one more guess. The 2-2 from Garcia. Missing with that sweeper. I'll tell you after this at bat.
Okay. I'm sitting here with bated breath.
Just outside, ball 4. So Steer gets the walk with 1 out. So a door is not a door when it's ajar. Get it?
Yeah, from the Henny Youngman collection. Tell him nice job.
I love our social media team. Fraley had an RBI single back in the 3rd. Didn't pull the trigger on that changeup. It misses 2-0. Garcia with the check on Steer.
Steer 2 for 2 in stolen bases.
This could be 2. Flip to second, over to first. No, said not in time.
Because it was hit off the end of the bat, it was a slow developing double play and made it tough, especially with Fraley running as hard as he could down the line. It's very close. I don't think they're going to call for a review, but it's close.
So the inning continues as Ellie De La Cruz, 2 for 3, had that 3-run home run back in the 3rd. Takes a lot to get it up and in on De La Cruz at 6'6". But it got his attention.
But when they do get it in, you got to get out of the way. And he was able to do that. There was a break because that straight change was down and out of the zone.
Two 2-1 pitch, missing inside, 3-1. This is game one of a 3-game series with Cincinnati in town this weekend. And then the Royals will come in town for a 3-game series after that.
The red hot Royals.
Broken bat, slow roll at a second, and Remillard makes the play at first. Time to stretch here in the South Side. Monday, April 29th for Dog Day, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. You can grab a seat in the outfield and watch the Sox take on the Twins at 6:30. Now here's the key. There's limited availability. To purchase your tickets, it's a specialty ticket. Visit whitesox.com/promos. Well, the weather's supposed to cooperate the rest of this weekend here in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous for the next couple of days. Both day games, by the way.
High of 68 tomorrow. High of 76 on Sunday.
Pretty nice.
That's going to be gorgeous. It's nice that we've downgraded from blankets to just hoodies weather tonight.
And it's going to get a little better. But then next week, maybe a little of the moisture.
Pilar gets underneath, lifts this high in the air to left. And one out to start this bottom of the 7th. Well, the longest Andrew Abbott had thrown all season in his previous 2 starts was 5 1/3. That was his first start at Philadelphia on the 1st of April. And here he is now in the 7th inning.
And Emilio Pagan throwing in the pen. You might remember him from the Minnesota Twins. That was an excuse me swing that almost wound up as a 2-base hit. Justin Anderson, one of the new additions to the bullpen, loosening in the Sox pen. He came up with Zach Remillard, as Oscar Colas was optioned to Charlotte, and Brian Shaw was designated for assignment.
Oh, 2 count on Benintendi, and he popped him up on the infield. Third baseman calls everybody off as Espinal makes the catch. 2 down. And Steve, Andrew Abbott getting ready to throw his 100th pitch with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Still throwing pretty well. I mean, he got through last inning as the Sox were very anxious, swung at a couple of first pitches, and quickly 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th.
Paul DeYoung with 2 outs. And he gave it away.
Looks like he was able to.
And then he chucked and slammed his beer. Ground ball was short. Well, the fans are still having a good time. It's Friday night at the ballpark. Chug, chug, chug. Yeah. The ace of the White Sox, Garrett Crochet, will be on the mound tomorrow at 1 o'clock against the Cincinnati Reds.
And we got a new pitcher, Justin Anderson. Spent a couple of years with the Angels. His first major league appearance since the end of September of 19. You never know when the opportunities are going to come, so when they do come, you've got to make the most of them.
His heart's got to be pumping right now. For a guy who spent 2 years in the majors in 18 and 19, hasn't pitched back in the show since. A credit to him to staying with it to get back here.
31 years old, 5 relief appearances at Charlotte. He gave up nothing.
Good slider there. It's 2-2 to Stevenson. You can tell a lot of deep breaths from Justin Anderson, trying to control the heartbeat. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just missed.
He didn't miss by much. Pretty good location, just off the plate. And it's nice when you get called up to the major leagues, you get a chance right away. You don't sit, you don't stew in the bullpen waiting when the opportunity is going to come. It's come today.
And that's ball 4. All right, we saw the highlight for Garrett Crochet, who's pitching tomorrow, 1 o'clock against the Reds. How good has Garrett Crochet been this season?
Well, in 3 ball games, you could hardly be much better. So he's out there. He's going to go out there tomorrow with a whole lot of confidence and see if he can string together a 4th excellent outing.
Chris Getz was asked about Crochet today, about his longevity, the plan for him the rest of the season. And Chris Getz was basically saying, hey, right now, we're letting him go. We're going to see how he progresses throughout the season. We may need to slow him down at some point, but right now, he feels good.
Well, let's look at the bright side of this. And the bright side is he throws real well. And eventually you do slow him down, because this is going to be his first year in the major leagues as a full-time starter. The innings are going to pile up, especially if he throws as well as he's been throwing. And so you want to make sure that he emerges from this year, regardless of what the record is. You want him to emerge healthy. And to do that, you can't let him get to 175 or 180 pitches, because he hasn't been there. It's going to take a while, see how he progresses, see how the arm feels, and you'll be able to look at the stuff as he moves along in appearances and figure out where he is strength-wise.
How about that fastball from Justin Anderson, up to 97 miles per hour.
Another good fastball, fouled straight back by Martini, who has a triple in this game.
Justin Anderson is from Houston, Texas, went to UTSA. There's a 2-2. That's pulled foul.
Cullen Cowgill, the first base coach, was able to do a nice little dance and get out of the way of that.
Martini at the plate, had a triple his last time up and scored. This time he yanks it foul.
Well hit and well foul.
Been a lot of souvenirs for fans tonight. Ton of foul balls. Inside. Nice job of Maldonado to even get that one at 97 riding in.
Yeah, especially when you're sitting on the outside part of the plate. He's on the outside part of the plate and has to come all the way across to make sure that one does not get away.
So the count's now full to Martini. Got him with the slider. First strikeout for Justin Anderson.
After setting him up with a fastball, there's the slider, and it's a perfect pitch. Now you saw the index finger spiked, and a lot of times that's how guys will throw their curveball to get a little extra spin on it.
Espinal had a sac fly RBI back in the 6th. That made it 7-1 Cincinnati. Fly ball left center field. Pilar calling it off, and there's 2 down. Well, Pedro Grifol has said when he gets guys on this squad, whether it be coming out of spring training or guys called up from the minor leagues, he wants to get him in right away. He doesn't want guys sitting on the bench. He wants to keep guys active. And that's what he's done here with Justin Anderson. Just called up his first inning of relief.
And a good time to use him because this is a game right now that Cincinnati is dominated from the beginning. And so instead of putting him into a tight game late, let him get his feet wet. Let him get acclimated once again to the major leagues where he hasn't been in a few years. And it looks like the stuff is pretty good.
So Anderson falls behind 3-0. So leadoff hitter Jonathan India. And a 4-pitch walk. So the second walk given up by Anderson here in the 8th.
Ethan Katz coming out to settle him down and also give him somewhat of a scouting report on Benson, who doubled his first time up tonight. Hasn't done a whole lot since.
So Mike Malinsky will come out to break up the party on the mound. Cincinnati scored 1 in the 1st. 5 in the 3rd, 1 in the 6th. For the White Sox, their lone run came in that 3rd inning. An RBI double from Robbie Grossman, and that's it tonight. So Benson steps in with 2 outs. In the last 2 at-bats, you can tell the emphasis on Benson has been getting the ball inside. Struck him out with an inside pitch in the 4th and then hit into a double play in the 6th. Anderson having trouble finding the strike zone now. That's 7 straight balls.
Yeah, something that's not going to endear you to your new pitching coach or manager. But you know, there's a little tension out there when you haven't been on a major league mound in 3 or 4 years.
Understandable. And back-to-back 4-pitch walks. Have you been there when the command you just can't find the strike zone?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's times where you feel good and you know you can throw strikes because you've done it in the past, but for whatever reason you have a hard time doing it on a given night, and sometimes it doesn't come back. Might come back the next time out, just doesn't come back this time. But there is no doubt that Anderson wants to show his new team that he can get the ball over.
He gets a cheer from the crowd for throwing a strike. 3 walks given up by Anderson here in this 8th. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Christian Encarnacion Strand. The fastball's got good life to it when he stays around the plate. Let's see if Anderson can get out of this bases loaded jam. Crowd trying to help him settle down here.
Yep.
First trip to the majors since 2019. Anderson, a broken bat and a single into right. 2 runs will score. And Cincinnati leads it 9-1 here in the 8th.
Third run driven in tonight by Encarnacion Strand. He's got a couple of hits. He has a sacrifice fly, breaks his bat. But unfortunately, when you walk a whole lot of guys, all you need is a little looper. Broken bat single, scores a pair.
And now one of the most dangerous hitters in Major League Baseball, Spencer Steer. Steer 1 for 2 tonight. His lone hit came on the double in his first at bat, and he's got 2 walks. Off the end of the bat, a lazy fly ball to right, and Anderson will get out of the inning. Cincinnati gets 2 more. Reds lead it 9-1.
Seven innings, just 4 hits, no walks, which is something that he's had a problem with. 3 strikeouts, got just about everything over the plate. Cincinnati played some pretty stout defense behind him, and he'll leave and give way to Emilio Pagan, who's on for the 6th time. ERA a little above 5.5. He did add a couple of miles an hour onto that cutter. Cincinnati believes that he can kind of rediscover what he once was, because there was a time when he was a closer.
Well hit by Corey Lee, but it's going to stay inside the park all the way to the warning track with 1 down. Benson, who moved from center to left, will make that catch.
Who's it?
Remillard swings the first pitch, and we'll get into the seats. And because Andrew Abbott had such a strong outing, he kept all the lefty bats on the bench for the White Sox. And the biggest bat is Gavin Sheets.
He's still got a chance to see him and get to swing the bat at least once tonight.
Cutter is in there, 0-2. We got better weather tomorrow. Afternoon start, Crochet on the mound, and a sweatshirt giveaway.
All things point to a lovely day at the ballpark.
Two-two to Remillard. Big fastball from Pagan, 2 down. Hey, White Sox fans, Xfinity has your connection to big league family fun at the ballpark. Stop by the Xfinity Kids Zone out in left field, where kids can develop their pitching, batting, and base running skills with White Sox youth coaches. Xfinity, proud partner of the Chicago White Sox. With 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th, Martin Maldonado. And the bottom of the lineup for the White Sox. 4 hits tonight for the White Sox. Just control by Andrew Abbott, the starting pitcher, on the mound.
Yeah, you could tell pretty much early when Abbott went 1-2-3 in that first inning and was right on top of just about every one of his pitches. In fact, it was 6 up, 6 down the first 2. He went on to retire 7 in a row before the base hit by Remillard.
That's foul. At the timeout by Maldonado, back in the box. With 2 outs, 2-2 the count. And back-to-back strikeouts for Pagan. A 1-2-3 8th inning. We go to the 9th, Cincinnati on top.
We showed these Reds.
Welcome back alongside the legend, Steve Stone, Chuck Garfien on the field. I'm John Schriffen. And a new pitcher on the mound for the White Sox.
Tim Hill comes out for the 5th time. His ERA is a little higher than he would like. 3 outs to get. And the Sox will worry about coming back against the Cincinnati bullpen.
Five, 6, 7 to the plate for Cincinnati here in this top of the 9th. The lefty at the dish, Tim Hill is brought on. Opposite way past the diving Sosa at 3rd. So Fraley with his 2nd hit of the night. And Steve, that's on top of that catch he made into the wall in right field.
I mean, it's been a good night for Jake Fraley. This is an excuse me swing that just finds a very good place. Lenine can't get to it. Jake Fraley starts off on base. He's just fortunate that he's able to walk away after this game, because That could have been pretty serious, running into the wall and maybe hurting his leg.
Oh, he crashed into that wall and he came off the field slowly. All right, if you just joined us, let's take you back to that catch out in right field by Fraley.
Paul DeYoung bidding for an extra base hit, and Fraley right there. He comes away with a sore leg, but other than that, stayed in the game and has gone the whole way.
That was back in the second inning. De La Cruz at the plate, fouls it off 2-2. He's one of those guys where you just want to see what he does no matter where he is, in the field or at the plate. He just has that star about him.
Well, there really is anything he can't do. So it's just a question of getting the reps, as they say, getting as many at bats as you can, getting used to pitchers and what they're going to do to him to try to neutralize that astonishing talent. That's a pretty good pitch, and he didn't get it. I think Tim is a little surprised because it had the entire zone and it was pretty much down the middle.
Count's now full. So the first two on in this ninth inning for Cincinnati. You a golf fan?
I am.
Masters going on.
Tiger Woods made the cut.
Made the cut.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's really amazing. As many of the physical problems as he's been through, +1.
And I think he had to play, what was it, 23 holes today because yesterday's round got postponed. So for his body to be able to hold up 23 holes and make the cut.
Yep. Pretty interesting when you take a look at the wind conditions. We've been in some windy places early, but Augusta was as windy as you'll see.
Oh yeah. And that's already a tough enough course.
Yeah.
You ever been down there?
I have not.
Me either.
Well, I haven't been to Augusta. I've been a lot of places around there. Played a lot of golf courses in Atlanta.
Okay. I hear one of the biggest attractions at Augusta National is the, I guess, the pro shop where you can just buy all of the Masters gear.
Yeah.
I've heard people drop 4 figures, 5 figures in there just because you can just, that's the only place you can get all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah. They have a lot of cool things in there. Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Tim Hill. There's one down here in the top of the ninth.
Stevenson unhappy with himself because he expanded his zone. A rising fastball.
Martini looking to avoid 3 strikeouts tonight. He is 1 for 4. Ground ball to short. Charging is DeYoung. And he makes the play on the run. 2 down.
That was a really good play because Paul had to come in aggressively and realizing that Martini can run pretty well. He doesn't have a whole lot of time on the transfer. The ball almost gets away, but he gets it there an eyelash ahead. And records the second out of the inning.
Base hit into right field. They're waving in De La Cruz. 2-run score. And Cincinnati on top 11-1 here in the ninth.
Espinal with his second hit to go with a stolen base, a sacrifice fly, and 3 driven in.
Up and in on India for ball 1. Some out-of-town scores. It's the Tigers with a 7-0 lead over the Twins in the bottom of the 8th. Tigers looking to move to 8-4 to start this season.
I like their chances.
The Rangers with a 12-3 lead over the Astros, bottom of the 6th. Mariners with a 1-0 lead over the Cubs, that one early on, bottom of the 2nd. Some finals from earlier. The Brewers actually beat up on the Orioles 11-1. The Brewers moved to 9-3. And the Mets stopped the win streak for the Royals at 7. The Mets got a 6-1 win. Ball 4. And there's now 2 on with 2 out.
So India with 4 walks tonight. Yikes. Nine walks tonight by the Sox staff. I'm going to generalize here, but when you walk 9, it's tough to win the game.
Cincinnati's also picked up 12 hits. An 11-1 lead here in the 9th with 2 outs. This could do it for Hill. And we move to the bottom of the 9th. The White Sox trail it 11-1.
You might remember him as a member of the Detroit Tigers. Now finds himself toiling with the Cincinnati Reds.
This is game 1 of a 3-game series against Cincinnati.
Chuck Garfien was in his lair for the game today, the All Access Friday, and he has now left his lair. It's official. Chuck has left the lair because he's up here waiting to do the post game from the booth.
Chuck and Ozzie will be on the mic as soon as we end here. Top of the lineup for the White Sox here in the 9th inning. And a little pitch comm issue for the new pitcher, Buck Farmer.
Now he says it's okay.
Grossman has one of the 4 hits in the lineup for the White Sox tonight. An RBI double back in the 3rd. The other 4 hits, Pilar with a double, Corey Lee with a single, and Remillard with a single. 4 hits. Fly ball to shallow left. And there's one down in the bottom of the 9th. What's the key for the White Sox to shake something like this off for tomorrow?
You're coming out here to play anyway, and these guys have been doing this for a lot of years. As soon as this one ends, as soon as the third out is made this inning, they're going to forget about this one and go out tomorrow with your ace on the mound and look to tie up the series.
Oh, 0-2 the count on Lenyn Sosa. Back up the middle. De La Cruz in plenty of time.
It's quite a play. He caught it, threw from the same motion. It was an underhand throw, and he got plenty on it.
A man his size does not be able to look that smooth moving around the field.
The athleticism is unbelievable, and they knew that. It was just a question of him getting to play games in the major leagues and allowing the talent he had to come out on a daily and nightly basis.
The White Sox down to their final out as Andrew Vaughn steps in. Vaughn's hit it hard a couple times, just unfortunately nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been hitting it hard the last 3 or 4 games, and you would expect that from him.
Popped him up. Shallow left field. De La Cruz will make the catch, and that'll do it. It's Cincinnati with an 11-1 win over the White Sox, and they take game 1 here in this 3-game series.
This one got away fairly early. A run in the first and 5 runs in the third, and then it was all Cincinnati. Abbott threw very well. Chris Flexen did not have a good night. All things considered, it's a day game tomorrow, so it's a quick turnaround. Get your rest.
Shake it off.
That's it. It's over.
Final score, Cincinnati with an 11-1 win over the White Sox. Coming up next after the break, Chuck and Ozzie will be right here with a White Sox post-game live.